We interrupt what you're watching right now to bring you this exciting story.
It's the dust and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the pledge of allegiance on the 4th of July. It's some handwritten letters from home. It's some sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. It's the red, white, and blue. Lay down, he's alive. It's the red, white, and blue. 40 stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sid's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop. And his 18th birthday was the day he was born. It's the red, white, and blue. Lay down, here's a light. It's the red, white, and blue. 40 stars and stripes. It's the red, white, and blue. Stand on the front line. It's the red, white, and blue. Pay the ultimate price. Oh. He was a man of house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with all he wanted. It's Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. All these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Stand on these red lines. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. He'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. 40 stars and stripes. March in line. March in line. Hey. Hey.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Sunday matinee at 3 o'clock sharp. It would not be in of good manners of me not to wish everybody, all those lovely ladies out there that are mothers today and have the privilege of having a special day of Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day. I haven't called my mom yet. I figured, well, they got to do lunch, then nap, and then of course they got to wake up for the show. So, I will say it to her now, and of course I'll call her later after the show. But again, thanks for coming out on a Sunday afternoon. If I check out all the channels, they are warming up, which is good. Now, I want you folks to know something. We kind of did a splinter Facebook page, Make Erie Great Again. It is warming up quickly. People are jumping online to follow it. It is basically exactly what it says to make Erie great again. We have, I started it a couple months ago, just kind of let it sit there dormant. Really didn't do anything, but we've been really promoting it because now it's election time and it is time to make Erie great again because we have put a huge campaign together. A lot of people have come together to make this thing happen. And that's what we need to do. We did this for our presidential race. There's no reason we can't do it for the off, you know, big races because these small races, as we all well know, are just as important as the big races. School boards, tons of school boards out there. Make sure you do your research on your school boards. These are the men and women that are uh, in charge of the future of our children. And if we don't get the right people in there to give us the right direction, uh, that's a big no-no. And we've seen the debacle in the city of Erie with the school board. We actually see how horrible that's run us, and we just keep pouring tons of money into it, hoping that we get a different direction, and it doesn't work that way. And that's why we yeah, not going to support that. We'll do the Democrat thing. We're going to circle back around on that one, but I wanted to get some kind of cool things out of the way for first. Saturday, the big truck 2025 event out here in Harbor Creek. Huge event. This thing gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The supervisors put this together with the help of a lot of law enforcement entities, volunteer fire departments, and just all the hardworking men and women that work at the Harbor Creek Township. They bring all the big trucks out there. The goal is to fill the front loader, bring some non-perishable food in place of the big front loader. You can't miss it. And I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, that front loader is really full. They'll have state troopers there, ambulances there. They have fire trucks, construction vehicles. They have game warden folks there. They had border control guys there. So, and of course, if you see at the very, very bottom, boop, Brian Shank, I will be hosting all your favorite hits. We gotta do that because it's a great event, but the music makes it. And again, sorry for the bad English. It's just way more funner with with the music playing and stuff. But yeah, we got some great sponsors. Come out there. We have food trucks up and running to purchase some food. And this is really the only opportunity you get to see a fire truck up close because when they're out on a call, it's hard because they're busy. They don't want anybody around. That's what the fire cops do. We keep everybody back because when these firemen and women put that gear on, they put their air packs on. Trust me, they just are laser beam focused and they do their job and they don't want to accidentally run somebody over when they're dragging hoses. So this way you can come up the trucks, see them. A lot of the departments will let you sit up in the trucks and see how big they really are. So it's a great opportunity. It's a no cost thing that the township puts us together, and they have all the construction vehicles and every type of wheeled vehicle you can imagine will be there. Steve Oler really heads that up. He always gets ahead of me, gets a hold of me early in the year and said, "Okay, Brian, let me block this date out for you." So of course I would say, well, we'll give a big shout out on the show for it because it's a good event. And if you got little ones, and if you're a big person and still like cool trucks, it's okay to come out and check it out. But yeah, so man, a lot of things going on. We are on third base. We are literally running for home place for the primary. It is really going full steam ahead. Let's see, the channels lighting up. Oh yeah, channels are lighting up. We actually have someone on Make Erie Great Again page. So that's been working well. All the channels are lit up except for X. Where's all our X friends at? There's nobody on X yet. So maybe they're still doing the thing. It's Mother's Day. I know people do this the afternoon lunch thing. I totally get it. I figured we'd come in here, do a show, and just it gets recorded, it gets sent out, and people really and can watch it anytime they want. And I get that. Yeah, Kim just typed in there, Maria Batista is going to swing up into Erie next Saturday. She's going to swing out and check the big trucks out, get some pictures with all the gang out here. And we totally get that. And we have a lot of things. We have a lot of things going. Now, I before we dive in, I do have one small favor. I did flash this at the beginning. I know a lot of you folks are just starting to come in. That'll be recording and check it out. This is the 2025 official Community Choice Awards. It is time to go online and vote for your favorite businesses and auto repair shops and flower shops and disc jockeys and photographers. But I'm going to ask you a small favor. If you could just take a moment and go to their website, and I'll change the screen here in a second, and I'll show you the category. I pre-filled it out. It's under the DJ event / wedding, radio personality / show. If you guys would be and gals be so kind to go online and go and just type in Boots on the Ground with Brian Shank. They ask you some very generic information. You submit your vote. They'll have that up and running for a couple weeks, and then they'll decide who the winner is. Doesn't cost you anything, so just please do that. And you can do it more than you can do it once a day. So please just let's show the movers and shakers of Erie County that a voice of the people exists, and it's in Harbor Creek, and it's growing, and it's getting bigger. And I'm out and about talking to people all the time, and they go, what is that QR code on the side of your car? Well, take a picture of it. I ain't telling you. So they take a picture of it, takes a link tree, takes all my channels, and they're like, we didn't know. And so it's just an issue of we're growing. It's just boots on the ground. We one person a week, three people a week. It's a good day. So that's the only thing I'll ask, if you folks could please do that. Go Erie. That's what the main page looks like. Go in there. This is a subcategory where you want to be at the entertainment, leisure, and people. And please take care of that for me, because I don't ask for much from the show. We just want a little recognition. It would be really nice to, let's be honest, be nice to have a little bragging rights that we really kind of did it. And we're movers and shakers, and people, and your voice, my voice matters. So yeah. Now I hate to be mean on Mother's Day, I really do, but this is the political world, and unfortunately, you got to take your lumps and your lumpy oatmeal sometimes. A person that follows me on Make Erie Great Again sent this to me. He has sent me some of this other artwork. This is the newest collection since Miss Devlin has thrown her hat in the race, and really come up with some doozy, gaslighting, blah, blah, blah about the city of Erie. But here's the thing. I listen to it and I go, is she really that far off? I mean, the city of Erie's been struggling. I mean, that they always, cry and scream about the money, yada, yada, blah, 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 taxes. But then Chuck Nelson's on a council meeting that we played last week, him bragging about we have $17 million in surplus. Well, then why are you beating the snot out of the people? And that's the same thing I said on council. We have a $60-some million surplus. Why are we beating the snot out of the little people and nickel diming them? And those nickel dimes aren't nickel dimes anymore. They're dollar bills and $50 bills. And what are we getting? We're not getting a good investment on our return, because this current council just cares about DEI and doesn't care about anything else. It's DEI and their woke agenda. And they could care less about water systems needing upgraded out in Northeast and in Corey, and internet out here, and to get this infrastructure up and running in a county. This is a county council, and all they give crap about is the city of Erie. That's just a talk about a swamp. We can't even drain the swamp because it's just always refilling itself up. But yeah, a lot of things going on. Again, we talked about Maria Batista being in town next week. If you want to get a hold of her, come out and see her. She'll be out and about. Get a hold of Kim or I herself. Tim Kuzma has a Maria Batista sign in the back of his truck. So I'm not the only one. And then we have, of course, we have Stan that has a big sign in his dump truck, which is he outdid me with the dump truck. I just have a little trailer. He's got a dump truck. But yeah, someone sent this Tim sent me this picture. I cropped it up a little bit, and so it's a great picture. And because she's a great person, she'll make a great judge. And no legislating from the bench. We've had her on the show, and she's talked to us directly. So, and I've talked to her several times. I'm going to vote for her. I don't care what the Republican Party tells me to do. I do what I feel is right for me, myself, and I. And I'm just here to give you the facts. You can go look up the folks that are state recommended. Mr. Wolford, I've seen in Erie twice. I don't even know the girl's name that's running. The other female that's running, because I haven't seen her. I haven't met. I wouldn't. She came to my front door. I wouldn't even know her, because they just assume just because the Pennsylvania GOP says, this is who we're recommending, you should vote for. No, we vote for who we want to vote for, and that's why we're here to disseminate all this information and make sure that people that are the good candidates, like Leanne Orton here. I've had her button on my microphone for weeks now, because I mean she's a great attorney. I mean, great people, great family out here in Northeast, and I truly believe she won't be one of those judges that legislates on the bench. I really believe it. And of course, our good friend down in Slippery Rock, Mayor Longo, JD is running for mayor down there. I have a strong feeling that he's going to do well down there. There's a lot of pushback, but that's what Democrats do, is they push back. So we'll talk about JD, but he comes up to Erie all the time. Very, very boots on the ground, Marine. Just a great guy to talk with, and he's that guy that never has a bad day. So yeah. Other than that, so I think Brenda's got a video of our favorite city council person and showing her finest at a council meeting.
A recent Facebook post from Erie City Council's president made for a rowdy scene at tonight's meeting.
Tyler Gallagher was there at City Hall. He joins us now here in the studio with much more on what was said. Tyler.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Dozens of Trump supporters filled City Council chambers tonight, calling for Council President Jasmine Flores to resign. On October 28th, City Council President Jasmine Flores made a post on her personal Facebook page accusing 90% of Trump supporters of being racist, even comparing them to the KKK. And many local Trump supporters took offense to that comment.
I just think it's disgusting, because when she is calling people who wear red hats the KKK without actually getting to know us, without taking the time to talk to us and understand our positions, it's actually racism.
After the City Council president made some comments on Facebook comparing Trump supporters to the KKK, dozens of supporters came out to the City Council meeting tonight in their red hats, and some even wearing shirts that say "Red Hats, Not White Hoods."
Well, what this is showing that, yeah, we're wearing red hats, but we are not members of the KKK. It's okay to think what you want to think and to post what you want to post, but when you're an elected county official or a city official, you're held to a much higher standard.
Some Trump supporters in attendance took to the podium for some passionate remarks for the council president, calling for her resignation. And even after public comment wrapped up, some attendees got into an altercation with security needing to get involved. But Flores stands by her Facebook comments, saying she will not be resigning from her position.
I stand by what I said. You see something, you say something. If I made them uncomfortable because of what I said, maybe you need to readdress how you guys are approaching the community at large. City of Erie voters elected me at large within city limits, and I will not disrespect them by leaving my seat. I will be running for re-election.
And Council President Flores says the behavior at the County Council chambers tonight was unacceptable. Back.
that absolutely cracked me up when she drilled down on that one. That was unacceptable. But I'll tell you what, when I was on County Council and the chairman, I had to remove people because they were so obnoxiously rude, and the whole place would just rah. But it's okay when they do it. But when we do it, oh, that's obnoxious. That's obnoxious. this party are nothing but hypocrites. We have plenty of video to show that, and it's not my word. It's not my philosophy. It's not Brenda's. It's not, the people that show up for the show. It's how everybody here perceives how they act. We're going to get into, remember the favorite saying of the Democrat Party when they were coming after President Trump: nobody is above the law. Remember that little snippet and clip it? The media ran up the flagpole and they ran it up and down and they tromped all over it. But it's amazing that the Democrats can run around, havoc and chaos, spit on people, break into ICE facilities, and we're the bad ones. Hi, Kim, you're live.
What a beautiful Sunday for Mother's Day.
I know, I get it. I almost feel bad being mean, but we gotta hammer this, because if we don't get it right, we might not have Mother's Day again. I don't know. I'm just saying,
man, it ain't gonna. It'll be a day, a they, them, she, he day.
I understand that mothers are mothers, and it's so funny. You watch these national talk show hosts get into these arguments about people saying that, well, men can have babies too, and then they're like, well, the women have the right to do. Could you define women? And they just sit there.
Kind of like, did you see Joe Biden on The View last week?
Oh, we have a clip. We, of course, yeah, right. And they're still hammering down that he was okay for office, and he can't even get an interview with those. Those weren't even softballs. Those were snow cones.
And his wife just took over. I truly believe his wife was the last president of the United States.
And no, I think she really was. She was the puppet master on a string by the other puppet masters, but she really was the person who was propping him up. And it's so funny. You watch the difference between the two of them. Trump will be on there. He'll take questions. He'll take this and he'll take that. And Biden would just like and walk away. So yeah, right. We get it.
And I think it's hilarious, because the reason they're doing this is for his new book tour, because they're broke. Oh my God, I'm loving it.
Yeah. Well, no, and then what it was, if you really watch the View's interview, it was about the people that worked for Joe Biden that said he really wasn't there upstairs. And of course, he's there to denounce that, and stumbled and bumbled through the whole interview. And I was like, thanks for we're kind of like reinforcing our beliefs there, buddy.
Absolutely. And look what Trump has done in the last week. He made a trade deal with Great Britain.
Yep.
And look at Harvard. Oh my God. 69, or was it Columbia University? 89 kids took over the library and they all got arrested. Bravo.
I totally understand it. I mean, and that's it. They think that this is this burning and looting, and these people, they sit there and they scream up and down. Why do they have their face covered? Why do they have their towels wrapped around them so they can't be identified? Well, when they get arrested, they rip that stuff off and they get photographed, and they're busted. And
that story's not over. I'm telling you, because they're going to figure out how many of those were here on a student visa, and they're gone.
Oh, I totally agree with you. And like I said, they think that they're playing. They're not playing.
Oh yeah, there's a new sheriff in town, buddy. So, and then he got that trade deal going. And I guess they're negotiating with China right now as we're speaking over there in what is it, Sweden, Switzerland?
Yeah. Well, and then I read that China slapped Canada upside the head hard with a huge tariff. And I was like,
ooh, that's freaking hilarious. Hilarious.
Now you pissed off the two big dogs on the porch.
Right. And Russia and Ukraine, they have peace right now, even though it's temporary. It's still peace. We got that deal going on over there. So Russia's not really going to screw around too much. And you're not hearing too much about Hamas in Israel.
Nope. No,
they still are. We hate Trump and they hate Doge. Han's not even working for Doge anymore.
Yeah, and then I think, Brenda, did we get the picture of the governor signing artillery shells to send over to kill people? I don't know if
yeah,
I remember. No, I did not see that.
Governor Shapiro.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was. There was a video, and they had the little dictator from the Ukraine here in Pennsylvania because they make those artillery shells here, and
Yep.
little Josh was signing them like he's a rock star,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was something that was an old tradition that in World War II they would sign the missiles. Here you go, Emperor Hiroshito, blah 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 blah. And that's fine. That was World War. This war is not just supposed to be. I mean, it's almost over. We got to deal with the Ukraine, so we can recoup some of the millions and billions of dollars that the Biden administration has just poof and they can't find.
Right.
So it's just winning, and the Dems hate it, and they're just going to get more nasty and more nasty.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we just keep winning and winning and winning. And I loved how Trump came out and said, well, if they want to raise the tax on the rich, I ain't got no problem with that because that way it balances it all out. So that way the middle class and lower class can have their tax breaks. I thought that the Democrats would shit a brick over that one.
Well, right. You're absolutely right. And that's the problem. They want it for everybody else, but not us. They just want us to foot the bill. And you know what? It's getting tougher and tougher. And then it's so funny to watch the rhetoric coming out of the city. People can't afford to buy houses. Well, you tax the shit out of them. They can't afford your teas, all your fees and your taxes. And then, of course, the Biden administration, with the market going crazy and houses almost doubling in price and interest rates going through the roof. And then they're like, well, look at Trump. Trump didn't do it. Dude, he's been there 100 days. You took
Right.
4 years to screw this up.
And now I'm even more mad. Okay, we had basically a slush fund, and you had to cut the police overtime to make the budget balance.
Oh,
Are
I
you
know.
kidding me?
That's like Chucky Nelson. He's his own worst enemy. He's just
And he says, I'm not giving up on this 3% property tax. Dude, you're freaking gone. You ain't going to have no say because I'm telling everybody right now, I'm not voting on it, and I will not vote on any fees either.
I know Dan Laughlin posted some stuff up from Chucky Nelson, and it was basically, how many times, what was it? Eight times he said tax, and in his post, and one little post. So you know what? That's who they are. And it's
Yeah.
funny, he's going to wreak havoc and chaos. I mean, he's going to have a rude awakening here in a couple weeks, and then you watch when he's lame duck. You watch when A, he's not the controller, and B, he loses his seat on council. You watch what he's going to do. He's going to go in what they call scorched earth mode.
Yeah.
You watch because he has nothing to do. There's nothing you can do to him unless you have him. I don't know. By the time you can finagle a special election to get him thrown out, it's over. So he's going to go.
He'll be done.
Yeah, he'll go to scorched earth, and you watch. You think he's bad now? Wait till he ends up being not the person coming out of the primary, and then he loses his seat.
The only thing I see him doing is going for that home rule charter, and I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna. That's a year and a half away, and I don't think it's gonna pass. As soon as the citizens of Barrie find out what exactly it is and what he wants to get out of it, I don't see it passing.
Yeah, Brenda just put up a picture, and it shows Governor Josh Shapiro literally signing bombs. Who do you think you are? You are not that important to be signing bombs that are being sent over to kill other people.
Right.
It's not, those artillery shells are not being used to defend our borders. They're not in a world war. This is their little Democrat. And I put a post on there, and the Democrats love to point the finger at us and call us warmongers. But look at the Democrats. They're all his little butt kisser Democrat buddies behind him with Zelensky signing bombs. Who's the warmonger here? I don't see Donald Trump or any of his Republican buddies standing there signing these artillery shells. It's just Joshy and all his buddies.
Right. I believe Trump just wants peace in the Middle East. He wants to go back to Abraham Accords, so yeah, people will see. We'll record it when we start doing our rallies and stuff. People will see. We'll record how many times we get the middle finger because we are number one and they can't handle it.
No, I totally get that, and there was a lot of funnies running around about the Pope. You look at, Trump's doing such a great job. We even have we have an American Pope.
Well,
the art of the deal.
like Trump said, we got to come back to Jesus, and I truly believe this is a sign from the Lord. So, with that, I want to wish all the mothers out there and grandmothers a very happy day. God has blessed us with a beautiful day, and I hope to see everybody at the big truck event with our favorite DJ Brian Shank. I know I'm out there. I want to see Joe Natale kicked off this throne, and I want to see Brian win this. So I'm voting every day. And I hope everyone else is too. And with that, everyone have a blessed day. And Brian, keep up the great work. We love listening to you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Like I said, I like Joe Natale. He's done a great job. He was the voice of reason until he slipped on a banana peel, and he's just so far.
You've been hanging out with Shaney too much.
Yeah.
He's been drinking Shaney juice.
I know. They've been hanging so far to the right. It's, to the left. It's not even funny anymore. So,
right.
Well,
so
thanks for the
everybody.
call,
And remember, get your friends and get out and vote. And you know what? You can still register people now that's for the general election. And we appreciate that. And don't forget to vote for Pence, Batista, and Orton. With that, everybody, I love you all. Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. Thanks, Kimmy. We appreciate you. Like I said, it's just bragging rights. This award doesn't give me any money. The way the contest is written, it says participants for a chance to win $250. Hey, I mean, and I get that, but I mean, this is just a bragging right on us. Yeah. She said Pence. She meant Prince. Yeah, we don't want Prince. We don't want Pence in there. But yeah, hate saying that, Kimmy. But yeah, I mean, I get it. You're fine. We knew what you meant. That's good. Yeah, Joshua Prince. Boop. We'll see. There it is, right there. Joshua Prince. We'll put his ad up there real quick. So I said a little oopsie there, but it's all good. These folks have been working hard. Brenda, you got a video for us?
Congressman Rob Menendez. This is a federal facility. This is a federal facility. We are federal legislators. The two of us are allowed in here. So open the gate for us.
We're not going to open the gate right now.
What do you mean?
We're not opening the gate.
What are you doing?
So that's why we should go in.
Let us in!
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 Let us in! Let us in!
Let them in! Let them in! Let them in! Let them in!
ICE brought to meet the mayor of Newark over 20 armed individuals. 20 armed individuals to confront the mayor of Newark along with 3 members of Congress. It was an act of intimidation. It was an act of intimidation not just to the mayor, not just to us, but to everyone watching. We know what ICE has been doing in our communities. We know that the president lied and this administration lies every day when they're saying they're going after criminals. It is not true. They feel no weight of the law. They feel no restraint on what they should be doing. And that was shown in broad daylight today when they not just arrested the mayor of Newark, but when they put their hands on 2 members of Congress who are standing behind me. How is this acceptable to anyone in this country? How is this acceptable? I fight along with these 2 incredible women every day for the people of New Jersey. We fight for the country that we should be. What we saw today is the country that we live in under Donald Trump and his Department of Homeland Security, under his ICE, does not reflect who we are as a country. It reflects everything wrong with the moment that we're in.
Is happening? Well, I can confirm, as I have publicly stated, that we have put the mayor, Ras Baraka, under arrest. It's very simple, Martha. As I've said, in the state of New Jersey, as Pam Bondi has said in the United States, we will not stand for anybody getting in the way of getting rid of criminals in this country. It's very simple. Unfortunately, the mayor has publicly for 3 days been saying that he's going to break in, eventually did break in, was given multiple opportunities to remove himself, failed to do so, and has been detained and will be charged.
I didn't do nothing. Well, just a footnote, the mayor is also running for governor. Hey, look at me. I'm fighting for the people. I'm breaking the law. Remember we talked about that. It's kind of like the segue into it is about how nobody is above the law. Well, here they literally are thinking they are above the law. Just because you're the mayor, you do not supersede the federal government. And just because you're a congressperson doesn't give you the golden key to open up any door anywhere at any time. It is a secured facility. And I read some articles that the lady in red, the congresswoman that was banging there, let me in, assaulted one of the officers, and they're looking at charges because remember, nobody is above the law. Remember, we talked about that. Brenda, another video, please.
And so we need to get really focused. How you doing? Oh, whoa.
You are a disgusting man.
Yeah. Again, back to the party of tolerance, love, and joy, and nobody's above the law. Spits, what is he, Brenda, federal prosecutor, or district? What was his job? I forget. I forget off the top of my head. But
he was one of the. He was the attorney that Trump put in.
Well, that would make sense. And of course, some nice lady walking her dog chooses to spit on this gentleman that's not paying her any mind and not saying anything to her. But this is exactly another example of the tolerant left on their tactics. They don't like what you're doing. They just come over and they spit on you, which is a felony, by the way. And I guess according to the little blurb there, she is going to be charged. And that's the way she should be, because by God, if I did that to a Democrat, woo, man, I'd be getting the perp walk and everything. I'm shocked. He must not have had a security detail with him. I'm shocked they didn't just snatch her right off the sidewalk and into a truck she went. But yeah, I mean, these are just more examples and more examples and more examples how the left is starting to crumble under their weight of hate. Oh, see, that's a good one. The weight of their hate. Weight of hate. That's a hashtag. Brenda, write that down. Kim, write that down. The weight of hashtag the weight of hate. But no, I mean, it's just an issue of this is exactly what it is. And then of course, they wonder why you're down to a 21% approval rating. Well, I don't know, boys and girls, but there it is. You are not above the law. You are protecting illegal immigrants that are convicted felons in their country, and their country got tired of dealing with them, so they dumped them into all the regular people coming in there, and they just disappeared, millions of them. And Trump won his election on the border wall and keeping this country safe. It was that simple. But Democrats just don't get that, and they just keep drilling down and willing to die on that hill. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're drilling down, and they're going to die on this hill. These three people show up to a federal detention facility demanding to be let in, and then they try to sneak in, and then they say they were assaulted. Don't try to break in to a federal detention center, boys and girls. For people that have these big fancy college degrees, I don't get it. Speaking of fancy college degrees, we want to make sure that everyone's paying attention to the Democrats racing against each other, Miss Vogel and Miss Parasite Perry. I'm a doctor. There's been a ton of stuff coming out on social media about his outrageous expenses that he has, where he was at the Erie Club and spent almost $500. It's disgusting that what he spent for that one meal for a handful of people is basically the income of most people bring home in a week and have to feed a family, pay rent or a mortgage or a car payment, and feed the entire family. These people are so out of touch. they need to go. And he won't even step down from his position because he knows he's going to lose. He knows he's going to lose. He's not stepped down, which he should have stepped down, because that way he's not on the internet handing out paper checks and rubbing elbows. And he there's been emails that have been out, and they're all over the place about his emails about how they were using ECRA functions for promotion pictures for his election. It's all on the internet, folks. It's all there. But but this is how the Democrats think and how entitled they really are. It's like this one. We got Jack Nelson, thinking that he is just going to be the God's savior to the city of Erie, when his time on city council has been nothing but havoc and chaos. So we're going to promote him? No, thanks. No, thank you. Then we'll go right down. Hand out Hortons. You don't see a nonprofit and money getting out to anything that a Horton isn't involved with. Between him and his brother, they are all connected. And now his brother is running, the guy that can't see, that ran into a traffic sign, sued the city, is now running for the school board. Can't make this up, people. I just can't make it up. And so, yeah, what other videos you got for us on deck, Brenda?
Did you hear? We finally have the answer. It's a question you and I have been asking for a long time. Who was really in charge when Joe Biden was in office? Well, Biden and his wife showed up on The View, and Biden himself was asked, Mr. President, have you seen all these books that were written since you left office? A lot of them say you are in a cognitive decline, especially in the last year of your presidency. Are these sources wrong? And his answer is what you would expect from Joe Biden, and then he has to be saved by mommy.
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that, number one. Number two, think of what we were left with. We were left with a circumstance where we had an insurrection when I started. Not since the Civil War. We had a circumstance where we were in a position that the pandemic, because of the incompetence of the last outfit, end up over 1 million people dying. 1 million people dying. And we're also in a situation where we found ourselves unable to deal with a lot of just basic issues, and which I won't go into in the interest of time. And so we went to work, and we got it done. And one of the things I'm
and Alyssa, one of the things I think is that
mommy jumps in.
The people who wrote those books.
Yeah, let me just help you out here. Jill Biden had to save him, like she had to save him for 4 straight years. She had to jump in because he couldn't finish the question or the answer, and he didn't even know where he was going. The question was, are they wrong about your cognitive decline in the last year of your presidency? And he started talking about when he took office, which didn't make any sense. So are happy days back again? Was this a flashback or, I don't know, a bad dream that woke us up in the middle of the night? I knew that I had to bring it to you because it's been a while. Hey, make sure you're following. Make sure you give me a comment. Make sure you share this. Make sure you like. Come on.
Yeah, the Joe Pag syndicated radio talk show. He does a lot of online stuff. It's on several major radio stations. Great guy, good conservative, good source of information. What civil war did we go through? What pandemic did we go through? I'm sorry, I'm just struggling here. That's right. It was all bullshit. And then here comes Jill to save the day because he's floundering like always because he didn't have a script. He didn't have a teleprompter. So the next thing was his wife. That's way younger than he is. You want to see an interesting story? Read that one. That was a really long story that you just go, wow. Another video. Man, I can't talk today. Another video.
Time cook, time hat, I'm aware of my wallet's there. Let's take the white glove, looking sharp, looking for love. They come running up the back of the can, 'cause
just throw some fun videos up there, so it's not too serious and too deep. But yeah, that there's a whole bunch of that out there on the internet. It's all done up with AI, of course, and then they put some great songs. I mean, you pick a great rock song, they have created an AI video with President Trump. And Brenda and I were sitting on the couch the other night, and it was just howling how many we had to go through, and we were just like, oh come on, ZZ Top, Sharp Dress Man, that's a great song, but you can find those online. It's real simple search on, if you're on TikTok, just put Trump AI with a song. They had Van Halen, they had everything. Gotcha. Another video, Brenda, please.
Holy shit. He said what? I recently asked my friend's little girl what she wanted to be when she grows up. She said she wanted to be the President of the United States. Both of her parents, liberal Democrats, were standing there. So I asked her, if you were president, what would be the first thing you would do? Well, she replied, I'd give food and houses to all the homeless people. Her parents beamed. Wow, what a worthy goal, I told her. But you don't have to wait until you're president to do that. You see, you can come over to my house right now and you can mow the lawn, pull weeds, and sweep my driveway, and I'll pay you $50. Then, I'll take you over to the grocery store where that homeless guy hangs out, and you can give him the $50 to use toward food and a new house. She thought that over for a few seconds, then she looked me straight in the eye and asked, why doesn't the homeless guy come over and do the work and you can just pay him the $50? I said, welcome to the Republican Party. Her parents are still not speaking to me. Holy.
Oh, come on. You got to love Ronald Reagan and his jokes. The one we're going to dig up next for Wednesday night is absolutely hilarious. It's about, he can make a joke about pretty much anything. And it was about kittens and the difference between the price between Republican kittens and Democrat kittens. We'll have that for the show on Wednesday. But yeah, I mean, and again, Ronald Reagan was a great guy. He was a Democrat, turned Republican. Yeah, he was an actor. He was he did so many great things for this country. And I think they would be very upset if they were able to come back for one day and see what this country has become. I think they would be very, very hurt and disappointed on what direction we've taken this country. And you know what? I've said this once. I'll have to dig the interview up from the Japanese news entity that did a story about us, Kim and I, here in Erie. And it was basically, they will give him a grade. I said, B+. I don't agree with everything he says. People are like, he's a chump, you're a chumper. Well, I get that if you have to put a label, because that's exactly what the left does. They love to put labels. You're a chumper. You're a racist. You're a member of the KKK. You're a Nazi. All these trigger words that they love to do that just permeates hate and division. And that's who we are not. We are not that. Our grandfathers and grandmothers went to war in World War II, the greatest generation that this country has ever seen. And they didn't want that hate. That's why they went to Germany to stop the Nazis. And just because you don't agree with somebody today, you slap that label on there. Half these people that throw that swastika don't even know what it represents or how many millions of people they killed just because of religion. And that's what really just irritates me, is they just throw that swastika and Nazi word around like it's nothing. But you know what? Millions of people died under that flag. And we, as Americans, sent our loved ones over there. And it was fun. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about this. It's funny. They were talking about the military versus today versus 2 generations past. You had young boys lying about their age, 14, 15, 16 years old. They lied to join the military to go save the world. And they did. You see some of these movies and documentaries that these young men and women did. Just amazing, some of the stories they did. And to call people Nazis is just a slap in the face to the men and women that died. that never came home, that are still in France. And, then, well, Trump, he was a draft dodger. So was Joe Biden, but the media won't touch it. They won't discuss it. And you know what? All they do is drill down on Trump, and he didn't dodge the draft. He was in the academy and got kicked out because of medical reasons. So Joe Biden had deferments because he had asthma, but he was on the swim team. Somebody please explain that to me. How can you have asthma and be on the swim team? You got a video, Brenda? Go ahead and put them up.
Did you hear the story? About the kid who was outside the Democratic fundraiser selling kittens. When the people came out from the fundraiser, he was holding up the kittens and he was saying, "Buy a Democrat kitten." Well, a couple of weeks later, the Republicans held a fundraiser in the same place. And when they came out, there was the same kid with the kittens. And he said, "Buy a Republican kitten." And one of the members of the press who'd seen him there 2 weeks before said, "Wait a minute, kid. You were selling these kittens the last time as Democrat kittens. How come the Republican kittens now?" Kid says, "Because now they got their eyes open."
Thank you, Brenda, for grabbing that. I mean, I know sometimes it's hard to find this stuff, but she sits back there with her nice computer and her big screens and stuff, and bless her heart for being able to find it, because that's a great story, because her eyes are open. I mean, why can't a president be like that? But today you can't joke with people because they're so sensitive and you hurt their feelings. As like Chuck Nelson loved to say is, well, it's good that we were able to provide a safe space for you people. Man, you think your chambers in the city of Erie is a safe place? I'm just offended I can't carry a firearm down there, because there was just another stabbing the other night, but they're saying that the crime statistics are down. Brenda, did that video transfer over from the United Way? That the little TV commercial that I was shocked they played. Shocked. Absolutely shocked. It was played by, I think, the United Way and the Erie School District.
Right. I forgot to bring that one up. I will get it for Wednesday.
Okay. We got this video, and I think I put it on my Facebook page. It is just, I was absolutely shocked that the United Way played this video, and it in cooperation with the Erie School District, about how bad the city sidewalks are. And they showed piles of garbage. This is a commercial from the United Way and the Erie School District showing piles of garbage on the sidewalks of the city street. And the essence of the commercial is how the kids, if they can't get to school, they can't learn. I am mind blown that they actually put that commercial out. Shocked, because that is such a slap in the face. Yeah. So other than that, I think that's pretty much what we got for today. It's Mother's Day. It's a gorgeous day. We want you to go outside, enjoy. Make sure you call your mom, and that way we can still enjoy today. But we still want to get in the habit of Sunday afternoon matinees, because, like I said, they get recorded, they get uploaded. We're on a bunch of channels, and now we have 2 feeds on Facebook, Brian Shank and Make Erie Great Again. So, Brenda, if you got the, do you want to play your ad in the outro?
This puppet show stays on because of you. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but
if tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today. 'Cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. Sing it! God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
All right, everybody, thanks for coming out on Mother's Day. Go outside, call your mom. Don't forget to call her because she's done a lot for you to be here today. Again, a special thank you to my lovely wife, Brenda, for keeping the show together. And on that happy note, I will say Shank out.